Today we'll be going over this 3D Vortex Money effect inside After Effects. Super cool effect, guys. It will make any of your music videos stand out. We will be needing Element 3D plugin to do this effect. I'm gonna link down below the link to buy Element 3D, guys. I highly suggest you buy this plugin. It's one of the best plugins inside After Effects to do 3D work. With that being said, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. We're dropping tutorials every single week. You don't want to miss out on the sauce. Don't forget to hit that like button so YouTube can continue to spread out my videos to other content creators as well. It's free, guys. You really help my channel grow as well. Please hit that like button. With that being said, let's hop straight into the tutorial. First thing what you guys want to do is you want to go ahead and hop on sketchfab.com. This is a website where you guys can download some free 3D models. Not all of them are free. And for today's 3D model, we're going to use a $100 bill. So what I did is I just searched up a $100 bill. If you guys press on downloadable, it's going to show you mainly the free things you could download. If you guys see a download button top right corner like this, it means it's free to download. Obviously, if you see the money sign, that means you got to pay. We're going to be working with this one right here. As you guys can see, it shows the preview. Pretty clean and it's free, so that's the one we're going to go with. For you guys to download it, you're going to scroll down, press download 3D model. Very important step right here, guys. Make sure you download the OBJ file instead of a JLB. We're going to go ahead and download this OBJ file. As you guys can see, we're inside After Effects. We have our footage right here that we'll be working with. First thing we want to do is we want to right click on the clip, go to track and stabilize, track camera, then just let After Effects do its thing and track the footage. After it's tracked, you guys will start seeing these little points around the clip. Head over to the track point size, make it a little bigger so it's easier to see. Now what we want to do is we want to choose a point in the clip where the points are pretty consistent, where there's a lot of them. So I see there's a lot right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a circle around those points. We're going to right click, create solid in camera, and when we play it through, you guys can see the square is tracked to the scene. That's what we want. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and delete that track solid. We don't need it no more. We're gonna right click on the panel, go to new, create another solid, press OK. Then you go to effects in your presets. We're gonna go ahead and throw element on top. Once you guys throw element on top, you can see it disappear. You're gonna go up to scene setup. I'm gonna head over to import. We're gonna go to dollar bill. You can't see, you go to transform, normalize size. As you can see, our bill is right there. It's a little bit low quality, but it's okay. Free version, right? Can't complain. Go ahead and press OK. Now the bill is there. You just can't see it because it's small. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to group 1, go to particle look. I'm going to bump that particle size up. When we play it back, you guys can see the dollar bill is flowing around crazy. And that's okay. For that fix, guys, you're going to go to particle replicator, go to position Z. We're going to bring it out in Z space. Then on particle look, we're going to bring up that particle size up. And when we play it back, the bill is not going as crazy. Still kind of going a little bit crazy. So we're going to go back to that position Z. We're going to push it out even more. Let's bring that particle size up a little bit. We're just doing this so the dollar bill isn't moving around crazy in the scene. As you guys can see, it's way better. As you can see, the dollar bill is flat. So we're going to go to rotation and just mess around with the X and the Y rotation. That's perfect right there. We're going to bring that particle size back down. So we're going to go to particle look, particle size, bring it down a little bit. Pretty good. Now we play it, the bill is there in the scene. Alright guys, now we're going to start making the vortex. First thing what you want to do is you want to go to particle count. And we're going to bring that number up to 15. And what this is doing is just making $15 bills. On replicator shape, you're going to change the point to sphere. As you can see, it's looking crazy right now, but don't worry, we're going to fix it. You're going to head over to the shape scale, spread out the bills. Now what we want to do is we want to mess with the position XY, put that in the center of him, shape scale up a little bit. This is looking fire. Now what we're going to do is we're going to keyframe the position XY in the beginning. We're going to go to the end. We're going to move that back to the center. There you go. Now when we play it back, you can see it's perfectly lined up with them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to keyframe the shape scale in the beginning. We're going to bring that back down. 118 is pretty good. We're going to go to the end. We're going to bring that back out. It's pretty good. So when we play it back, you can see it starts opening up. Now what we want to do is to make the animation more smoother, we're going to highlight those keyframes, press F9. We're going to go into the graph editor. What we want to do is we want to make this the fastest in the beginning and it slows down. We're going to press on the right keyframe. We're going to bring that in, bring this left keyframe in as well. So it's going to be faster in the beginning, the animation. Perfect, that's exactly what we want. Now we're going to mess with the rotation and we're going to make it do a 360 around them. So we're going to go to particle replicator. We're going to go to rotation. We're going to keyframe the Y rotation at the beginning. We're going to go to the end. We're going to do a full We're gonna do a full rotation until it passes number 1. Now when we play it back, you can see it's rotating. Now to make it more smooth like we did before, we're gonna go and highlight those keyframes. And if you don't see those keyframes, press U on your keyboard, they'll come up. Press F9 again. We're gonna head back into the graph editor. This time we're gonna make the rotation the fast in the middle. So we're gonna bring in these keyframes just like this. As you can see in the beginning, it's slow, and the end it's also slow, but in the middle, it's gonna spin fast. When we play it back, it's gonna look like this. Super fire. One thing I'm gonna do, guys, I don't like how the dollar sign is looking rotated like that, so I'm gonna go back into rotation. I'm gonna bring that X value back down to 0. And now when we play it back, it's looking more clean. So make sure you guys have the X rotation at 0 and just change the Y rotation and do the 360 around your subject. One last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna head down to multi-object, enable multi-O. I'm gonna head down to rotation, and we're gonna mess with the random rotation right here. We're gonna keyframe in the beginning, rotate it randomly a little bit. We're gonna go to the end and rotate that some more. Can't see the keyframe, press U. As you can see, we see right here. We're gonna highlight those 2 keyframes that we just made, press F9 again. Back in the graph editor, copy the same graph as before. Now we play it back. Super clean. Now, as you guys can see, all the bills are showing up. As you guys can see, the bills in the back, like this one, for example, this one right here, this one right here, they're all back in Z-depth, but they look close up. So this next step we're gonna do is we're gonna make those back bills be invisible while the front ones are visible. We could go ahead and close out that group 1, go to output, go to show. It's on composite, switch it to Z-depth, no AA, and it's a white screen. This is exactly what we want. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna mess with the Z-depth start and Z-depth end. So what we wanna do is, guys, we wanna make the front bills be the darkest and the bills in the back be the lightest as possible. So we're gonna start in the beginning. We're gonna go ahead and keyframe those 2. We're gonna mess with the settings until the bills in the back are light and the bills in the front are dark. See how the bills in the back are disappearing? This step is one of the hardest steps of this effect, guys. You have to really mess around with these settings, but if you keep messing, you'll get it eventually. Now when we play it through, you guys can see the ones in the front are dark, the ones in the back are lighter. That's exactly what we want. After that step, you're gonna go ahead and duplicate that element 3D layer, and we're gonna bring it to the bottom. Then we're gonna hide those 2 element layers. We don't need them right now. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna rotoscope our subject from the background. So we're gonna go ahead and double click on our subject, pressing the rotobrush tool. For those of you who don't know how to rotobrush, there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube, but I'll link the tutorial that I made down in the description below if you guys wanna learn how to rotobrush. I'm not gonna go too in depth on this video how to rotoscope, so I'm gonna speed this part up, guys, and just watch. And if you need any extra assistance, link is down below how to rotoscope. Let's get it. Now that we have every frame rotoscope, we're gonna head down to freeze, and we're gonna freeze up each frame. Now that we finished rotoscoping, we're gonna close out that layer. As you can see, it rotoscoped the subject from the background, looking pretty clean. Now we're gonna duplicate this layer, Control D. We're gonna go to the bottom one, delete the rotobrush. We won't need it on that one. Now the bottom one is just the background, and this top one is the rotobrush. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rename those clips so we know which one is which. First one is roto. Bottom one is the background, BG for short. We're also gonna rename our element layers. The first one will be element depth. Second one will be just element. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring that element layer in between the roto and the background. We're gonna bring that element depth between the 3D tracker camera and the roto. Let's go ahead and turn on that element layer. We're gonna go to that element layer, and we're gonna change that Z-depth no AA back to composite. The bills are back. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna press on toggle switches modes. We're gonna bring this pick whip on track mat of the roto to the element depth layer. And then as you can see the alpha mat selected, you're gonna press on it, and we're gonna bring up the luma mat. Now when we play it back, guys, the effect is completed and it's looking pretty clean. As you guys can see, the bills behind them are behind them and the bills in front stay in front. Now we're gonna make the dollar bill match a little bit with the scene, guys. We're gonna go ahead and search up lumetri color. We're gonna go ahead and throw that back on top of the element. Bring that temperature a little bit down. Bring down the tint. Bring that exposure down just a little bit since it's dark outside. Contrast will bring up. Shadows will bring down a little bit. Now when we play it back, it matches the scene a little bit better. And that is the end of this tutorial, guys. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it gladly. If you guys want to see more effects like this using 3D models, let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, guys. Join the Sacred Takes family. We drop tutorials weekly. Hit that like button down below if you forgot. Please guys, hit the like button to really help my channel grow. That being said, I'll catch you guys in the next tutorial. Peace.